So another athlete story here with Athletes to Athletes today. We're talking with Tope. Tope, thank you for taking the time to chat with me today. How are things? How you been?
It's good to be here, and then everything's going great. I'm home for the holidays, and couldn't be any more grateful.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So let's dive right into it. You're a Texas guy. You go to UT. You're from Dallas. Um, was that one of the things that you wanted to do, staying at least close to home and close to family with going to UT?
Yeah, being born and raised in Texas, like you have to go to the premier institution in state, which is UT. So, I didn't with all the offers, I didn't see myself going anywhere else, and UT was the place to be.
So talk about those offers a little bit. What other schools were you looking at as a high school athlete?
Michigan, Miami, a lot of Pac-12 schools. Can't really name them off the top of my head right now. K-State, Texas Tech, Washington. A lot of Big 12 schools, no SEC schools, but it's really just majority Pac-12, some Big 12, and none of them from the SEC.
Yeah. Now, let's backtrack a little bit. Now, as a high school athlete, was getting to that next level and playing college football, was that the plan, or were you just like, I'm gonna play, and if it ends up that's where I end up going, then that's kind of the plan, right? And that's what happens.
I mean, the plan was just to play with my friends and have fun and have make memories. But I had a teammate, Edwin Freeman, who was an Under Armour All-American, who committed to Texas, signed with Texas as a safety / linebacker. And I was like, damn, like I would see his letters every week pouring in from colleges. And I was like, I want that. So I was on JV freshman team, my freshman year, obviously, JV sophomore year, then junior year, I started taking it more seriously. And second semester junior year is when things started to pop off. And I would say I took it seriously my junior year.
Yeah. And once you started to like truly focus, is that when you saw your letters start kind of coming in?
Yeah, I mean, at first I was mad. I was like, dang, why am I on varsity? I want to be on JV with my friends. But it came to a point where like when I started getting the offers, it was like, okay, like I was stupid for even thinking about that. Like I have the opportunity to change my life for the better, change my mom's life for the better by not allowing her to pay for college, and I did just that.
Mm-hmm. Now, on the academic side, obviously that's very important. What's it look like academically for you as a high school athlete?
Uh, I I mean, I wouldn't say I didn't apply myself, but I didn't. Oh, I will say that actually, I didn't apply myself as much as I could have. Like I know I wasn't like a dumb kid, or I just didn't apply myself the way I could have. So like I was just like an above average type of guy, not really striving to be the best I could be. So so it was like B plus here, but it changed once I got to college. So
Yeah, obviously, I mean, you've been on all academic Big 12, and you've been on the commissioner's honor roll for, I believe, what, 5 years. So obviously that changed. Now, when it came to just excelling at the next level, how much of an influence was your mom, who was an athlete herself with shot put and discus? How much of an influence was she for you?
Huge. I mean, when it came down to, well, I already know it's going to come to Texas, but in terms of just playing sports, she pushed us into sports. It was piano, karate, dance class, violin, and then ultimately sports. So, and then she just wanted to find out what was best for us and what would make us happy. So, I was happy to be able to go to college, get offers, be able to have a choice of which college I wanted to go to, her not pay for college, and just see her happy and proud of me. So uh she didn't, just because she plays sports, she didn't push it on us. She just introduced us to it, and we just fell in love with it.
Mhm. Now, did you pick her brain at all about making it to the next level when it came to training and things like that?
Can you repeat that?
Did you pick your mom's brain about making it to the next level when it came to training or anything like that?
Oh no, I didn't, and I just wanted to enjoy the journey at UT, and see where it took me, like whether it be the next level or not. Like my mom just wanted to see me happy, and I never asked her questions about going pro or this or that, but I just would enjoy my time and just let it ride out and see what happens at the end.
Mhm. So we touched on all the schools that you said you were starting to get these letters and everything like that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that recruiting process a little bit. When you start going on trips, did you take your 5 trips, or like you said, you always knew it was down to UT, but did you really take advantage of that process?
No, I didn't. I just took one trip, which was UT. My dad, I wanted to take more because I know like all the other recruits were taking more. And my dad was just like, you don't want to mess around with these colleges and say like you're committed here, but still want to take a visit here. Like they're just being unfaithful and unloyal to them. So I mean that's just our prerogative. And yeah, I understood where he was coming from, but like the 17-year-old, 18-year-old in me was like, yeah, I want to take all these visits, but in reality, it's like how would that look to the coaches who are already committed to and signed with? So, or already committed to. So, it made sense. I just took one visit.
Mhm. And obviously, you're at UT, so you liked what you saw, but what was that X factor that was just like that kind of solidified UT as that school for you?
Just it being in the state capital, like if you're born and raised in Texas, your dream school is to go to the University of Texas, not Texas A&M, not Texas Tech, like not all these additional letters and names added on. It's just Texas, and just going to Texas meant a lot to me. And my best friends in high school, they wanted to go to Texas, but obviously, like I came on a football scholarship, so I was able to. So I'm living out their dreams through me as well. So one, my friends, two, just the city it's in, the state capital, and just the culture surrounding UT. I mean, Austin in general, just like the weirdness, the Texan vibes, the inclusivity, the diversity. I just love all that.
Yeah. So does that, that kind of wraps right into my next question of, you weren't getting playing time early on when you got to
Yeah.
UT, as a freshman and as a sophomore, you weren't seeing the field. Um, Being at UT, as you said, you want to represent that school. Is that what made you stay? Because a lot of guys, you'll see guys who are highly touted freshmen come in and not see playing time, and then they want to hit that transfer portal, especially with a school where you've had multiple coaches at as well, and things
Yeah.
have changed. What was that deciding factor for you to stay at UT and stay faithful to a team despite having coaching changes and not seeing the field?
Well, I wasn't one to just quit on the team I signed with, and people might take that as a bad or a positive or negative, but there's nothing wrong with transferring if that's what's best for your situation. That's cool. But with me, my situation, I wanted to stay at UT. Like I committed to UT. I wanted to stay there for as long as I could. And being able to, wear the burnt orange every day was a privilege, was an honor. So I didn't want to lose that. So again, I was born and raised in Texas. I didn't want to go anywhere else. So UT was the place for me. And again, like most guys in my position would have transferred, 6 years in one place, but with me, academics kept me going. My best friend Denzel for kept me going. Transferring never crossed my mind. It just like work hard every day, even if you don't play, you give a good look. So the guys who do play even harder and ultimately win this game. So it's more of a we. It's kind of cliche, but it's a more of a we than me mentality. And I try to do that. Project that every day, even though I'm not one of the most vocal guys, but that's just my mentality going into every day, every practice, every weight room session at UT. So,
Mm-hmm. So you touched on the academic side of things, and as a guy who said in high school didn't apply himself the way he should have.
yeah.
What was that transition like when you got to college and your schedule is obviously changing, right? You're at practice at 6 a.m. You're at film, you have class at 8 a.m. What's that schedule change? And was it kind of a shock to you when you got there?
I mean, it was. I mean, it was a culture shock for real because I was on academic probation my freshman year. I had a sub 2.0 GPA, and again, I was an above average student in high school. But going into college, like you get distracted by all these basically flashing lights of parties, girls, skipping class, doing this and this, and I'm just doing whatever the older guys did because I thought that was the right thing to do. So finished with a sub 2.0 GPA, and I knew I wasn't dumb. I just didn't apply myself. Freshman year was like the biggest distraction for me because coming from Arlington, Texas, like, and I'm going to the University of Texas at Austin, where everything's bigger, brighter, better. Like, I just got distracted. So that first semester was pretty bad, but ultimately I found my way, obviously. So I couldn't be any more grateful for that experience. I wouldn't change a thing because without that experience, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now.
Yeah. Now, how'd you turn that around?
Coach Herman, he brought in and not no diss on Coach Strong, but that culture of that team was pretty bad. and Coach Herman kind of introduced me to self accountability, and I was able to hold myself accountable in terms of my practice habits, how I carried myself off the field, on the field, and ultimately academics. So when Herman first got hired, our O-line coach, Coach Derek Werheim, we had a position group. It's just all of the offensive linemen there. And he starts reading grades out loud. I'm like, oh crap, here comes my name. And he's just like, Tope Imade, sub 2.0 GPA, 1 point this and this. And he's just like banging on the board. And he's like, man, that's not even trying this and this. So like I made a point to myself from that day forward, like I will never be embarrassed like that again. Not for academics, not for something I know I can do better at and know that I'm better at than most people, because again, I know I'm intelligent, not to sound kind of cocky, but I know I'm intelligent. Just like it pisses me off knowing like I didn't apply myself the way I should have so I can avoid being embarrassed that way. So for me to apply myself my freshman year, that wasn't me. But again, I wouldn't change anything about that journey because I am who I am now because of that.
That's amazing, right? You hear a lot of guys that get into, kind of an academic hole, and they can't really dig themselves out. They don't really know how. What were some of those things? Obviously, the embarrassment in front of your teammates, but what were some of the things that you changed yourself, be it study habits, getting a tutor, whatever else? What were some of those things that you changed in order to get back on track?
Just sacrificing. Like I don't go out, I don't go to parties, I don't drink, I don't do anything. Like if all the color, I'd be gray, honestly, right? But it's just a lot of sacrifice. Like I do my work, and I do my work early. So as a reward, I do what I want to do. Like I watch TV shows, I watch movies, and then the process starts all over again. Like that would be my reward because that's something I love to do. So like I would withhold that if I'm not doing well in school. So if I have a B- in the class, like I'm not going to watch the shows I want to watch. I'm not going to watch the movies I want to watch until I get that grade up to what is satisfactory for me. So it's kind of like self-discipline in a way where like I'm going to hold myself from these I don't want to say riches, but these spoils, these like benefits, that stuff that I love to do, stuff that keeps me going, stuff I look forward to. I'm going to withhold that until I get what's the main priority, which is my grades to get to a place where I felt they needed to be. So again, just self-discipline. And it was hard at first, but it became a daily routine where like it just got easier. So yeah, just kind of self-discipline. And it was a long answer, but self-discipline.
Yeah. That's amazing. You have to have it, obviously, as an athlete on any level, as just being able to focus and refocus and sacrifice those times, right? Now, let's talk some football a little bit. As we said, you weren't really getting the playing time coming in as a freshman or as a sophomore, and then you finally got your chance, as a junior, redshirt sophomore, I guess I should say. And when you got that chance, what are the feelings? What are the thoughts? Are you nervous? What are all those thoughts and feelings going through you?
I mean, let me just take you through the journey real quick. So redshirted freshman year, moved to defense my redshirt for my sophomore year, which is my redshirt freshman year. Moved back to offense that same year. Played special teams from 2018, 2019, 2020. And, I moved to guard. I moved to tackle at the end of 2020, moved back to guard August 2021. And I finally played the back half of the season. So the journey was hard. It was, at the end of the 2019 season, my mentality was like, I'm just coming back for my fifth year. At the end of the 2020 season, I was like, well, we got the whole COVID year. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to come back for my sixth year just to solely focus on academics to get my second master's. And because I already knew I didn't start my first 5 years. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to start again. I'm never going to start again. So my mentality was like, I'm not going to play. Like, let's just focus on school. Let's get this over with and get this free master's done. But then Coach Flood came in, and his first question to me was, how come you're not playing? How come you don't want to start? How come, as big as you are not mauling people as a starter? And he put that, like, people come to, as an offensive lineman, the hardest part to adjust to, in college is basically physicality, but mine was mentally. Like I didn't adjust mentally when I got to college. So I was happy Coach Flood was able to do that for me and build me up and develop me in the couple of months he had me with, and he had with me. And I was able to start the back half of the season and start pancaking guys, run blocking, pass blocking, knocking guys over. So it was pretty good.
Yeah. Now, when, like you said, like when you came in, the difference was mental, right?
Yeah.
And what did you work on to develop that mental maturity and those mental reps to have the mental aspect of it catch up to the physical?
Man, it's not even about me being. It's not. How can I say this? It's about coaching, right? You need to have a coach that believes in you and knows that you are capable of doing what you were recruited to do. So, like, I mean, and no shots at my previous coaches, but like, Coach Flood came in and was like, dude, you are one big dude. You need to play. Like, you're going to play for me this year. And I've never had a coach say that to me before. And that was an instant constant confidence boost where, like, okay, Coach Flood, whatever you need, like, I'm going to do that to make sure you're happy, to make sure the whole team's happy. And then ultimately we get wins. So it's really not about mentally, my personal mental, but having a position coach pour into me and believe in me and lift me up to like, okay, well, I now if he thinks I can do it, if he knows I can do it, then like, why? How come I'm not doing it? So I just start working harder, spending more time on his techniques. Like, and the thing about it is his techniques work. Like, do this to stop this or do that to stop that, and it works. So I just kept working at it. I'm like, okay, crap, if this works, like, let me do it some more. And practice made perfect, and I became a starter at the back end of the season.
That's great. I mean, we touched on a little bit. You've had a good amount of coaches that have come into UT.
Yeah.
Mentality wise, obviously things change. Culture wise, things change. How hard was it to navigate those cultural changes from head coach to head coach that came in? I believe you had three of them, right?
Three, yeah. So it was, with the only person, like me and Denzel Okafor are both 6th-year seniors. So like we were pretty devastated when Coach Strong got fired. Like, oh man, like we came here because of Coach Strong. Like, what now? But by the time Herman was fired and Stark was hired, was like, oh, here we go. This is running back. Let's do it again. So like again, we're kind of like the vets on the team where like we're used to it. Like we were used to the coaching change. So it wasn't anything new to us. But it was like, again, it was hard the first time it happened, but the second time it happened, we're just like, all right, let's just do this and let's keep it moving. So there's nothing new, and we just kept it pushing after that.
Mm-hmm. So as an athlete, and one of the things that you've been working yourself on, but obviously the rest of any college athlete is this navigating this whole NIL, as well
Yeah.
as athlete identification is one of the big things for you. What was it like in this first year of the new name, image, and likeness for you guys?
I mean, it was crazy. I mean, of course, the star players like Bijan Robinson, DeMarvion Overshawn, they got huge NIL deals. Well, offensive linemen, we didn't really get anything because, again, nobody really knows who we are unless we give up a sack or a TFL or whatever it may be. So
Yeah.
We started this thing, Brunch with the Bigs, which kind of fell through. Like, we had one event, got like $100 each from it. It was pretty cool. We had free food, got to meet new people, meet some of our fans, but kind of happy it fell through though, because with the season going, as bad as it did, like, we didn't want fans coming in and like didn't mean to cuss, didn't mean like to come in and like just berate us, like, how come you're not doing this and that, how come you're not protecting this and that. So that kind of fell through, but it's still a great idea. But now the offensive line has the opportunity to make about $150K a year, 100 from university, 50 from some outside source. So 150K a year, like, that's a lot of money. Some people aspire to have that much money or have the type of salary. So if you're there for 4 years, you make 600K. With me being there for 6 years, I had the possibility of making 900K. So it sucks, but like, then again, you think about it, like, you can't help but be happy for other guys and having the opportunity. So
Yeah.
People that's enough money for a down payment on a house. Like, once you're done with college, you're set for life. So the whole NIL stuff is really life changing now, especially being an offensive lineman at UT. So it sucks that, like, once I leave, that's when it happens. But I couldn't be any more happier for my guys. And I wish I could have stayed around and actually done some more stuff with NIL to maximize my opportunities, like my personal opportunities. But it is what it is. Like, I know there's stuff later in life set up for me. I mean, I have 3 degrees, so like if I don't succeed, that's on me. So I'll be fine. But I just couldn't be any more happy for my guys.
Yeah. Now for you, you have your own YouTube channel.
Yeah,
What's it called? The Heroes Playbook, right?
Heroes Playbook. Yeah.
And how did you develop that? What made you want to develop that? I know you've only had it for a couple of months, so how did that kind of come to fruition?
Uh, really is because of my love for heroes or superheroes. So, or any character that follows that hero's journey where they go on a mission, they fail the first time, come back, succeed the second time, and then end up fully transformed to being who they were meant to be. So I got the name from, okay, I love heroes, and playbook as in I'm an athlete. So I wanted the initial plan for the channel was to be the martyr for people who student athletes who love these like Marvel, Disney, Star Wars, whatever it may be, like all these stuff you wouldn't expect us to love because
Yeah.
being a football player or being an athlete anywhere, you're put into these molds, into these roles where like you're not expected to love stuff like this. So like I have no shame in who I am. Like football taught me not to give whatever. So I don't care. Like I love Disney, I love Pixar, I love Marvel, and I just put that out there. Like that's my content. That's who I am. Like I'm the face of athletes who are too afraid or too shy or too anxious to come out and say like, hey, like I love this stuff too. Like I'm not ashamed about it. So hopefully if they see somebody like me do it, they can be more inspired to do it for themselves. So the whole channel is based off of movie reactions, trailer reactions. I have this thing called origin stories coming up where every superhero has an origin story. So I'm going to have athletes on that where, let's say I'm interviewing Bijan Robinson and he will give his origin story, like who he is, where he's from, his hardest challenge, how he failed at first, how he came back, and how he's transformed as a whole. So that's kind of the premise of the origin story piece. And I have so much plans for the channel to tackle diversity, inclusion, stuff like that in the superhero world where, like, for example, the Eternals movie and Hawkeye, a TV show on Disney Plus, had deaf representation. So like that's huge for me. So I love to talk about that stuff. So that's kind of the whole idea behind the Heroes Playbook.
Yeah.
So
That's pretty cool. That's really cool. I took a look at the YouTube channel as I told you before when we met, and I thought it was really cool seeing how you're kind of just knocking on the door of your teammates and getting them to kind of review movies and stuff. And we talked about Spider-Man and everything like that, and said you were probably going to go see it again. I've still yet to see it, so
shame on you, man.
I know I gotta get out and go see it. Knowing that you've seen it twice, it must be good. It must be something that is definitely
going to see it a third time. I have to see it a third time, but it's pretty awesome, man. You should go see it.
Yeah. So with your YouTube channel and your 3 degrees, I know marketing was your major.
Yeah.
Do you see, developing this YouTube channel into, obviously, you said you have something in development, with origin stories, but do you see carrying it on, after college is over?
Yeah, definitely. Because the whole reason I started the YouTube channel was to have a hobby outside of football. Because I don't know, because I haven't decided if I want to pursue the NFL or not. So like people lose their identity once they're out of college. Like I've been a college football player. I've been a football player for over half my life. Like what do I do now that football's over? So I started a YouTube channel to be my escape from that, from feeling that type of way. So, I love talking about this stuff. So why not share it with the whole world? So that was kind of my reason for starting the channel. But in terms of the future, like, yes, I'd love to do this for fun. I'd love to do this for, I won't say profession because I still want to do work and do some type of marketing. But like, people get paid off of YouTube for a lot less, or talking for different types of subjects. So for me to like get monetized and get paid just to talk about superheroes and do all this other stuff like that, that'd be awesome. So I do see it in my future. The whole plan is to get big enough to partner with Disney, Warner Brothers, Pixar, whatever it may be, just so I can review their movies, talk about their movies, and get more seats in my get more seats in theaters. So that's my goal. And I'm just starting out right now. Like you said, I'm only a couple of months in. I'm on TikTok, I'm on Twitter, just trying to, and I'm doing all the stuff by myself, but it's hard. But like 2-3 years down the line, like where will I be at? So it's better to start now, better late than never. But it's all about the journey, right? So hopefully, like you mentioned, in the future, I will be in LA attending movie premieres and interviewing guys and just living my dream as just Marvel Disney guy.
Yeah. Now you said you weren't sure if you're going to pursue the NFL. Has that been a thought for you?
Yeah, I mean, like you start to doubt yourself once you haven't played football in 5-6 years. So just being able to start the past 6 games wasn't enough to really convince me of like, dang, is the NFL really for me? So I'm still thinking about that. I'm still talking with coaches, still talking with agents, still working out just in case anything happens. But this holiday break, I'm just taking it to reflect and just think back, like if it's something I want to do. So I'm still thinking about it. If it happens, cool. If it doesn't, cool. Like I'm more than prepared to handle the real world. I have a hobby now that football is over. So no, now that college football is over. So we'll see where that goes.
Mm-hmm. Now your plans past college, was this something that you started to think about a couple of years ago when you were in high school, or was it more something that started to develop as you were going through your college career?
As I was going through my college career, like I was at a crossroads where I wasn't playing, and I was just like, okay, where can I, put majority of my effort into, and that was academics. So like, I kind of came to a realization, like, okay, if I'm not playing, probably not gonna go to the NFL. So let me put my effort somewhere, and that's the academics, and that paid dividends for me having 3 degrees. But it was something I realized during my college career, like probably 2018 or 2019.
What are your degrees in?
I have an undergrad in corporate communications, my first master's in marketing, and then my second master's in sport management. So yeah, kind of did what no other UT student athlete has done. So I'm kind of setting the new norm, the new I don't know, barrier, whatever the new standard for student athletes at UT. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's incredible. Most guys don't go 6 years and come away with 3 degrees.
yeah, I mean,
How long did
I came away limping, man. I'll tell you that.
it
I came away limping.
How long did it take you to get the first one?
First one took me 3.5 years.
Yeah.
Second one, 10 months. And then this one should take me about 12 months.
Yeah. So you'll finish up by the end of the year?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. You have some pretty big goals that you've already accomplished with getting 3 degrees in 6 years. Most people don't really do that. So that's really impressive. So the last question I have for you is, do you have any type of advice for up and coming student athletes? Something that you've learned or a nugget of wisdom that has kind of pushed you forward throughout your years as being a college student athlete?
Yeah, redshirting isn't a bad thing. Use that to develop academically, physically, whatever it may be, to put you ahead of the game next year. So I thought redshirting was a bad thing, but turns out it was one of the best things that ever happened to me. So utilize the red shirt, don't be mad about it, take it, run with it, and just maximize it.
That's awesome, man. Well, before we let you go, do you want to give us a kind of a plug for your YouTube channel, your Twitter, anything like that?
Yeah, so just follow me on TikTok at the Heroes Playbook, TheHeroes Playbook, the Heroes Playbook. Follow me. That's the same thing as my Instagram, and follow me on Twitter at Tope Imade, Tope Imade. And I also have a Twitter for the Heroes Playbook, which is just Heroes Playbook. So y'all can follow me on there too.
That's awesome. Definitely make sure to get on there and check out any reviews or anything else like that. Tope, it's been great, man. I really enjoyed this conversation with you. You're definitely a wealth of knowledge, especially with having 3 degrees. You got a lot going on in that brain. So like I said, I really appreciate it. Really appreciate you taking the time out. And we'll definitely be looking out for the development of that YouTube channel and the Heroes Playbook.
Thank you, man. It means a lot.